Aloha mai, aloha gang, o ia kona ke ia. It's Jason. And today I thought I would share with you one of my very favorite Hawaiian words, which is umeke. Okina, U-M-E-K-E, umeke. So the very first time I encountered this word was one of my very first trips to the Hawaiian Islands. I think I was on Oahu, and I was in one of those shops that caters to the tourist crowd that comes in, that's full of beautiful items carved out of koa wood. And in this particular store, there was a shelf, and they had these bowls that were kind of narrow bowls with very tall sides. And the salesman saw me admiring these bowls and came over and tried to sell me one pretty much. When I asked what they were, he told me they were called umeke. And when I asked him to tell me a little bit more about them, he said that these particular umeke were oftentimes given as trophies, maybe to an athlete or to commemorate a special day or to honor a special person. And they were very beautiful. They were very expensive. And so in my mind, that's what umeke was. It was a trophy and something that I couldn't afford. Cut 2 years later, I'm hanging out on Molokai with Mom and Pop Solatorio and the family, and we are in Kaunakakai, which is the main town on the island of Molokai. And in Kaunakakai, there's a bookstore called Kalele Books and Divine Expressions. Aloha to Terry Waros if you're watching. And in Terry's bookstore, she has a section that's dedicated to all things Hawaiian, books all about Hawaii, Namea Hawai'i. And while I was there, I noticed this particular book called Umeke Writings, an anthology. And it's put together by a group called Nakamale-KEEP, which, from what I understand, is a Hawaiian roots organization on the island of Oahu. Aloha to you. So I picked the book up and I was looking through it, and I started to get a little choked up. And around that very moment, Pops, came back to where I was standing and said, come on, we got to go holo holo around Kaunakakai, we got to go grocery shopping and whatever. So off we went to run our errands. I had to go back to Kalele that day and pick the book up because something inside that book had touched me and I wasn't quite sure what it was. Now, from what I understand, this anthology came from teachers that had gone into the community and put together this workshop to explore the people's creative side and their spiritual side and their connection to their roots. And they used umeke, or they used the image of an umeke as a way in. And when I was thumbing through some of the pages, I realized that some of the writers had used I am umeke. And that was what had struck me. These were local folks from the community that were writing. I was beginning to write, and I suddenly had a word that represented what it was that I was trying to do. I am umeke. So I talked with Pops about it, and I said, Pops, can you tell me more about umeke? Is it just this fancy kind of trophy thing? And he said, no, umeke is just a bowl, Jason. It's not a big deal. So in fact, in the Hawaiian dictionary, it says it's a noun and it's a bowl, a calabash, a circular vessel as of wood or gourd. Then when I asked Pops more about it, he said, he umeke ke ia, and he held up a bowl. And then he held up another bowl and he said, he umeke ke ia. He said, it's just a bowl. So I realized what had struck a chord with me. It was the fact that this bowl, this container, is a repository, right? That's what we put things in. And that's kind of how my job has been on Molokai, especially in Halawa, has been to be this non-judgmental bowl, this container that you could put fruit in, you could put water in, you could put stones in. A bowl isn't going to judge that. And my job has been to just be this repository, to be this bowl, and to hold everything that he's willing to share with me, or that the kupuna on the island are willing to share with me. The stories, the language, the music, the traditions, the customs. But my job has started to evolve again, and Pops has really been pressing me to share the things that I've been learning and to find ways to take it out. So I am umeke, I am this bowl, but I'm also now looking inside the umeke and trying to find ways to bring those things forward, whether it's sharing directly what's been given to me to share, or whether it's finding new ways to present it. So I'm not only sharing the stories that were told to me, but finding ways to write my own stories. Not only sharing the songs that were shared with me, but finding ways to create new songs and a way to help these things to perpetuate. Amau, amau, amau. So on Oahu, when I was there last, I found this little umeke. It just fits in the palm of my hand, and I keep it with me when I'm writing. It's right within view, so that when I start to think, who am I to do this? I'm just this guy from the East Coast, and I'm writing about Hawaii and singing about Hawaii. Who am I? I am umeke. I am this repository, and I've been working with this image to kind of inspire me and to drive me on. So it's one of my very favorite words, umeke. What do you know about umeke? I'd love to hear from you. I hope you're having a fantastic week, and I look forward to hearing from you very soon. Ahui ho!